As you fail.
This program is proudly brought to you by Tilley's and Mitsubishi.
The beautiful coastal city of Newcastle. White sandy beaches border this metropolis, not unlike its south coast neighbour Wollongong. Both cities have one thing in common: basketball. Tonight, the Steel Cities clash. Illawarra Hawks host the Newcastle Falcons at the Snake Pit in Wollongong. Both teams have won 2 games this year, and the winner of tonight's clash will consolidate a top 8 position on the Mitsubishi NBL ladder. These two teams are as evenly matched as any in the league, having met each other 27 times. Newcastle winning 15, Illawarra 12. Keep an eye on number 33, Greg Hubbard, for the Hawks, needing only 13 points to reach that magic 2,000. Both are breathing fire. Just which team will melt first as the Illawarra Hawks and the Newcastle Falcons go into battle in the Mitsubishi NBL Challenge.
And it's a big welcome to viewers throughout Australia on the 10 network to Wollongong on the New South Wales South Coast. It's Mitsubishi Challenge time. Tonight, the NBL entertainers, the Newcastle Falcons, come down here to take on the local heroes, the Illawarra Hawks. I'm Peter Chapman, calling the hot shots with me, Tom Pottinger.
Yes, it's going to be a great game tonight. Over the years, these two teams have been pretty evenly matched. Ben Morrissey even thinks it's so close it'll go into overtime tonight.
Okay, well, let's hope we have an exciting one. Let's have a look where the two sides are presently standing on the table. There it is. The Falcons presently in 5th position, having won 2, losing just the 1. Down the bottom, we'll find Illawarra, who are unbeaten here at home. There they are in 9th position, just 1 shot out of the top 8. The 8, of course, will go into the playoffs. Well, there's going to be plenty of entertainers on the court. Also in the crowd, we have one of Australia's sporting heroes. Our man on the sideline, Ben Morrissey, has sought him out.
With me, Wayne Gardner, the Wollongong Whiz. Wayne, you're off to Italy tomorrow. Why is that?
Well, I'm heading back, to seek some more medical advice from the Italian racing doctor. And I live in Monaco, so I'm going to return back home and get ready try and pick up the season from Barcelona onwards, which is the end of this month.
Wayne, you're breaking leg twice. Why do you keep going back to it? What is it? What's the key? What's dragging you back there?
Well, that's a good question. I keep asking myself the same one all the time. One time I think I'm silly, I think I'm crazy, and I think mainly it's just the love of the sport. I mean, what happened was just, really bad luck. I really like the sport. I love what I do. It's exciting. It's fun. Get to travel the world, and I'd miss it really, and I've missed it the last the last 3 races. So I'm looking forward to going back.
Wayne, you're a bit of a Wollongong. Like, the city's very close-knit. You love Wollongong. You're tied in with the sports people.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen the Mercers and Ironmen and the Hawks tonight. Why is that with Wollongong? Why is it such a close-knit town?
Well, I guess most people don't really give Wollongong a lot of recognition, and I guess the people that do come out of here really achieve something, really good. And I guess in hand we try to help the people that haven't achieved anything, try to pick them up and try and build the name of the city up. And as you say, I mean, I think everyone around Wollongong does stick fairly well together, and we try and we hold the name up with great pride. So I think it's really important that we all stick together, and that's why I come here to try and cheer on the Hawks. Hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, I suppose that's an easy question. Who's going to win tonight?
Oh, well, the Hawks, of course.
And that probably was a silly question. Of course, he'd say the locals are going to win. Let's hope we have a super match. I'm sure we will. Stay with us. Let's have a look at the starting 5 for Illawarra first up. There they are. Chuck Harmison. Old Man River just keeps getting better. Dashing Doug Overton. Then we've got Justin Withers, Melvin Thomas, and Greg Hubbard. The starting lineup for the Newcastle side.
And they'll start with Paul Kleiper at center. Michael Johnson will play forward. Everett Stevens, the point guard. Al Green also at guard, and Terry Dozier, defensive specialist at forward.
Okay, Tom, let's talk about some of those players in the starting five. What is the big matchup tonight?
Well, obviously what everybody wants to see is the point guard matchup here. Illawarra with dashing Doug Overton. He's been leading the league so far, and really the standard which players set, but he's got a friend out here, Everett Stevens from the Newcastle Falcons. He also has very big reps on him, and just to watch those two play is going to be what's the price of admission.
Okay, our two referees tonight, Steve Bignell, and that's him there. He's 145th match, a real veteran of the NBL.
Yes, and he's joined by John Payne tonight, who also is a very experienced referee. Two New South Wales referees. They know the players well, and should be quite a good game as far as the referees are concerned.
Okay, and there's the motorcycle ace himself out there for the tip-off. He'll have to hobble out of the way rather quickly. It's great to see him around. There was talk that he was going to retire. I'm glad to see he changed his mind. True champion.
And we're going to see what happens here. You can see Wayne Gardner up in the midst of the tall timber. I think he went for this roof that time.
We're not going to do it again. Let him do it properly. Yeah.
Well, it made him come back and throw it not quite so high, but
we're going to give him best out of three here.
There it is. That's a bit better.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wayne Gardner, special guest from the Illawarra.
And there's some of the big crowd packed into this venue, which they call the Snake Pit.
Yes, and as great as it is here on television, it's even better here when it goes live at the stadium. When this place gets rocking, it really brings the home team home. Fans across Australia, they've heard it before. They'll see it again during tonight, and they're off.
And it's Illawarra who get the ball first. And dashing Doug Overton gets stripped of the ball on the way to the hoop. And we get the first foul of the night called against the Newcastle Falcons, and I'm sure that would have been against Paul Kuiper.
Well, and that's a little bit maybe the difference in what these teams have been in years past. Newcastle in years past has been very soft on defense, but they're not going to let that happen this year. They've really picked up their defense. Even they've gone from a soft touch to one of the better teams in the league.
Number 14, Justin Withers at the line, gets the first point of the night. And you just listen to this crowd hum along with this team if they get their nose in front in the last quarter. There's pandemonium here at the Snake Pit. An awesome task for any team to come here and beat them. They've played two matches here already. They played the Brisbane Bullets and the Canberra Cannons, and both times they came away with the points.
Well, both these teams are undefeated at home and haven't won one on the road. We'll see if that continues tonight.
Kuiper trying to work underneath. The ball out wide. And Kuiper comes up with the rebound after Everett Stevens missed the layup.
Well, what a move by Everett Stevens that time as he went right past Overton. Overton won't like to see that happen again.
Two super quick guys. Shooting for 2 points, and how sweet it is. Line 4-2. That was Thomas.
Yes, Melvin Thomas with that fadeaway. Bit small for a center, but he manages to draw the big men out away from the basket, giving some room. And again, the Falcons are going inside of their big man, Paul Kuiper. It looks like Justin Withers has got the job on him, but again, the Falcons much better rebounding than what they have been in years past. Terry Dozier with an open one and misses it. We'll see a many miss those.
And Doug Overton comes up, stops. Great reject by Stevens.
Well, what do we say about the Falcons' defense this year already? Overton's got one jammed back down at him.
Shot by Withers off the hoop, and way down goes Green. And he's done that a few times, Al Green.
Well,
number 10, the New Yorker, 36 years of age, and he has scored something like 6,800, and let's make it 31 points.
Well, he's given up height that time to Justin Withers, and he still came away the best on it. And again, Illawarra starting very slow, not able to find the baskets on their first couple of shots. Al Green gives up about 4 or 5 inches in there to Justin Withers, but they've got so much confidence in him, they're going to let him take him inside or outside.
4-all here at the Snake Pit. Newcastle, the Falcons in the blue. Home team, Illawarra Hawks in the red. Inside Green, and fouled
I think that'll go against Justin Withers. Yes, and Al Green, as we said, about 4 inches shorter.
Well, there's the replay.
Still managed to get past the big man, uses his strength very well. Green, one of the best inside scorers in the league here, captain of the Falcons this year. I noticed that Al put down for his favorite drink, Foster's Light. He knows who pays the money for this team. Cans the second one easy as you please. Greg Hubbard calling the plays for the Hawks here, sets it up on offense. They go back door, but it doesn't come off here. Chuck Harmison in for a little bit of height. He's guarded by Kuiper, takes him away from the basket.
Shot by Thomas, misses, and the rebound by Kuiper. Off to Stevens. Goes here with the ball, back out to Stevens. Dodging around the three-point line. That's that yellow hoop line you can see out wide. And Withers touches the ball as it goes over the baseline, so it'll come back side ball Newcastle.
And Terry Dozier misses his second shot of the night. Falcons really being patient with the ball. In years past, they've tended just to throw it up as quick as they can, but so far they're working for good shots here.
That's the inside shot. It went straight over the top of the hoop as Overton comes up, throws up the shot, but doesn't count. Foul occurred way before he had an opportunity to put it up. Have a look at it. The foul has already occurred, and then he puts the shot up after the incident.
Yes, well, Doug Overton showing Everett Stevens that, okay, if you want a battle, I'll give you one. He accelerates towards the basket.
This is Thomas.
Hawks looking to go inside, but Chuck Harmison guarded by Paul Kuiper. And again, Green with a hand of the ball, and the Falcons are off and running.
Dozier fouled underneath. They call him Terry Dozier from Baltimore. 31 for the Newcastle Falcons. There he is receiving a foul. He'll go to the line shooting 2.
I like those kind of names. You can handle something like that. Well, the Falcons again showing that years past, Michael Johnson would have gunned that shot up from the outside, but they went for the inside shot here, drew the foul, have the 2 free throws to play with here. 1 shot, 1 point for each one off each of these shots, and he hits them both.
7-4 at the Snake Pit. Newcastle in charge. Welcome all our viewers in the Steel City of Newcastle, and of course we're in a Steel City down here, and this is a BHP Steel City Shield match. Competition brought in by BHP between these 2 great cities. Air ball.
And again, pretty good defense from Everett Stevens that time, with Doug Overton forcing it, not able to get open. Terry Dozier takes it and draws the foul out of Melvin Thomas, and they're going to count the basket as well. So Illawarra could be looking down the gun barrel here. Let's have a look at it here. Yes, just a bit of bump with the body.
A tough foul call, would you say, Tom?
Well, no, he had contact with him all the way, and Terry Dozier was smart enough that he knew the ref was going to call something there and to put up the shot, take a chance on the basket, and as it turns out, he may well get 3 points out of this. The 2 plus, well, he doesn't get the 3rd one out of it.
Just explaining that too, if the foul occurs while he puts the shot in, the 2 points go down, they just get the 1 shot.
That's right, Illawarra looking to go inside that time, but again, Al Green just muscling Justin Withers out of where he wants it here. Green, pretty imposing figure, even though he's pretty short, takes it to the basket himself. And that time the Hawks managed to block one. They've played better defense this year as well, and Hubbard's on the break, draws the foul out of Johnson.
And the shots won't count. Well, David Lindstrom is upset. He said you counted them down the other end. What about this end?
Yes, well, I think he's got a bit of a case to argue there. Where's the consistency in it?
Well, few of the crowd agree with him. There he is. He's up off his seat. And not very happy. Any wonder it's 9-4 and Newcastle in charge at the Snake Pit. Ball goes back outside to Hubbard. Down along the baseline. Steps over the line, though, and Newcastle will come up with a side ball.
And Al Green so far has really been doing a job on Justin Withers inside. They're looking to take advantage of that height mismatch. but it isn't working because Green has been holding everything else on Withers, getting away with it. Well, that's the name of the game.
2-point shot misses. Hubbard comes up with the ball. He's going to go all the way. Offloads the ball, and the ball goes over the baseline.
And again, Newcastle's defense much better than what it has been in years past. They would have just given up an easy 2 points in years past. This time, the transition defense back very good. Illawarra not able to break as Hubbardson gets one off under pressure, and Al Green gets his hand to it. Al Green, even though he's only very short, is right up among the leaders of the rebounders in offensive rebounds. I think he's running about 5th or 6th in the league.
Overturn. And around he goes. He likes it. 9-6 scoreline of the Snake Pit. Newcastle leading.
Overton very smooth. And down at the other end, Michael Johnson guns from outside. Ball handling skills of Doug Overton coming up the court. Nice and smooth, but he can't connect on it.
And the ball touched by Michael Johnson, so it will be a side ball to the home side. Illawarra in the red and white strip. 9-6. They're down at the moment.
Melvin Thomas right in front of us here on the commentary position. Hubbard goes inside and they call a charge on it. Well, the referees have adjudged that time that Terry Dozier had both feet set as Hubbard went for the basket. And there you see it. The man just sprawling on the floor. That doesn't always mean a charge, but it did this time. David Lindstrom, arms crossed, and he'd be a bit crossed right at the present time.
6:33 left in the first quarter. 9-6 the scoreline. Good mention about these two sides, Tom. As we see a 3-point shot attempted unsuccessfully. Both sides, I suppose you could call them cellar dwellers in the past few seasons. Both sides in a rebuilding process. The 2 wins already this season, so they are well on the way. And we should mention about Newcastle. They finished 3rd in the pre-season competition. The Newcastle Kmart Classic. So they've certainly shown that they are going to be a force this year.
Well, both teams did very well in the Kmart Classic. And a big stuff by Paul Kuiper, the big man that time, 0-0. I think they give him the extra 0. 1 wouldn't be enough for him.
Back come the Hawks. Armisen with the ball, goes to Withers, 2-point shot, misses. The rebound comes down for Stevens, who charges up court. He'll go all the way. No, he won't. He offloads beautifully, but the ball won't go in as dashing Doug Overton comes up, stops, shoots, and he misses. Thomas in for the rebound, gets the 2 points.
Well, Illawarra that time really butchered the fast break from Melvin Thomas. Wouldn't give up. He kept on going, and now we've got a timeout here.
Scoreline 11-10. Illawarra in charge. Side is in front by 1. Newcastle. The Falcons down here trying to fly high over the Hawks. A tough ask here at the Snake Pit.
Well, that is that Illawarra wants to win all their games at home, as does every team. And the Falcons are going to be just as tough up there. I don't think there'll probably be 5 points in both games at both places this year.
It was a super game last year when they played for the BHP Steel City Shield up there. 117 to 116, the final score. Newcastle scored on the hooter to win.
Well, and Everett Stevens showing a nice shot that time to can that one from the outside. It's Illawarra's turn with the ball now. Let's see what they can do with it.
13-10, Newcastle. Withers.
Well,
misses, but Armisen working hard inside.
Well, a good effort by Harmison to stay on the boards that time, but really Illawarra must be starting to worry a little bit. Withers has had about 4 shots now and just hasn't connected on any of them. Al Green's managed to put the defensive clampers right on him, and that won't help Illawarra. They've got to get some points out of Withers.
It's Chuck Armisen at the line.
And Harmison's been having a super season this year. He's got himself back into the starting lineup. Hasn't been there for some time, but the early games this year he's played very consistently. He's always been good on defense. He's really picked up his offense a little bit here, and David Lindstrom giving a chance, more minutes on the court here.
13-11, 2-point ball game at the Snake Pit.
Illawarra's gone into a zone now where they guard an area more than a man. This one looks like a 2-3 zone. first time down Everett. Stevens just stood out and bombed against it there. Let's see what happens. They go inside to Kuiper. He's not able to connect. And Melvin Thomas cleans up the rebound.
Illawarra now with a chance to level the game up. 4 minutes 11 left in the first quarter. Inside to Thomas. Turns. Shoots. Misses. Kuiper with the rebound for Newcastle. Fast break. Green. 2 points. Well, 2 points. Al Green, 36 years of age and plenty of spring left in those old legs.
Well, they are. He just keeps playing. A lot of people thought he was washed up when he left Adelaide, but he's put in some good years here for Newcastle. And Harmison again hits one.
When I say old legs, the 36 in the basketball fraternity, that is old.
Well, especially for smaller men. Well, Terry Dozier goes up in the air, the athleticism. This man is a strong, good athlete.
17-13, Falcons lead the Hawks.
And he and Thomas are going at it inside here. These two are going to see a lot of each other tonight.
Overton stripped the ball. He didn't like the call. He looks to the crowd for support.
He says, I don't do those kind of things. I don't throw the ball out of bounds, ref. Somebody grabbed it from me. But it's not going to do him any good.
Newcastle's defense really rattling the Hawks at the moment. They can't get into their offense at all. Newcastle playing really tough too.
Ben, what did Lindstrom have to say to his team at that timeout?
That last timeout, Peter was very concerned about their turnovers. They threw 5 turnovers in the first 6 minutes, and their defense is not sharp. He says they're not very sharp. That's why they went back to that 2-3 zone. So he expects their players to pick it up now.
Down by 6 at the moment, 19-13. Well, inside to Withers, gets the 2.
And it's been the first time he's been able to shake Al Green, and that he managed to completely shake him that time, but I wouldn't count on it happening the second time.
Just working the ball around, goes out wide to Green. Now it's Stevens in 7. Kuiper. Goaltending was the call by the bench for Newcastle, but not according to the referees. And it's Illawarra with the ball. 19-15. They trail by 4. Just 2 minutes left in the first quarter, almost a steal.
Yes, the big long arms of Kuiper. He's now left guarding Justin Withers. Manages to knock it away. Illawarra really having trouble, as Ben said, penetrating this defense, the Falcons.
Harmison turns, shoots, doesn't go in, and Kuiper picks up the rebound. Stevens, good ball inside, scrambling for the ball, and they come up with it. And 3 points.
From Michael Johnson, one of the sweetest shooters in the league. Not a Michael Johnson we've seen in years past. He would have done anything once he crossed half court. Very patient, waiting for an open shot, just can it easy as can be.
We're talking about point scoring. Michael Johnson has scored almost 6,000 NBL points. Ball refuses to drop. Withers with it and plenty of pressure on him. He gets the ball away to Overton, who has plenty of time to shoot for 3. It won't go in. Harmison retrieves the ball brilliantly. Overton shoots again for 3. It refuses to fall once again. And Kuiper comes up with the ball. So 2 close calls. Both times the ball didn't go in. But that time it does, as Johnson, point-scoring machine, takes a 3.
And 2 in a row with Illawarra now down 10 points here. This looks like one of those games that Illawarra is going to win it. They'll really have to crank up their defense a bit here. Newcastle, strangely, looks like they've gone into a 1-3-1 zone.
Hubbard to Withers, inside to Harmison. He gets the ball away to Overton. 10 seconds. 3 points goes down. And we have substitutions coming in for Newcastle. And that is Neil Turner coming on for Kuiper.
And that was certainly a shot that Illawarra needed. They were starting to struggle badly here. Maybe the Falcons haven't been able to penetrate inside. They'll give Turner a chance here to see if they can pick up a couple of baskets inside. And it looks like Illawarra, they've gone to the man-to-man now, where you guard a man rather than area.
Just 9 seconds, 8 seconds left in the first quarter. They're trying to get off the last shot, and they draw a foul out of Chuck Harmison.
Newcastle's had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. They haven't had a game last weekend. They had a bye, so they look like a well-oiled machine at the moment and really doing a job on Illawarra.
Well, this is a super tough double to come down here to Wollongong. Tomorrow night, they travel across to Canberra to take on the Canberra Cannons, who destroyed the Bullets last Saturday night on their return to the Palace.
Yes, and this Newcastle team so far in the first quarter doesn't look at anything at all like Newcastle teams from years past. We played pretty soft defense. We've got 3 seconds to go.
Long shot by Hubbard, doesn't go in. Withers gets the rebound, doesn't count.
Yep, that counted.
So the 2 points count. It's 26-20. Newcastle leading the Illawarra Hawks. Here at the Snake Pit, and an impressive opening stanza from the Newcastle side, the visitors here.
Yes, certainly has been. This is, like as I said, this is not a Newcastle team we've seen from years past. Defense has been the name of the game in the first quarter. Newcastle has only been shooting 38%, so Illawarra's defense has been pretty good. But Newcastle's defense has been even better, with Illawarra restricted to only 33% in the way of field goal percentage. That means they've only hit 1 shot in 3. Really, you expect at this level for teams to hit about 1 and 2. So a significant drop in the scoring as far as usually concerned. Also, these rings here at the Snake Pit in Wollongong, renowned for being a shooter's home court here. Things not quite going according to plan, and really Illawarra pretty lucky only to be 6 points behind. The difference has been the 2 3-pointers by Michael Johnson.
Well, Tom, we mentioned before about the hometown crowd here, how vocal they get. They're a little bit quiet at the moment. They're sitting back waiting for their home side to start to do something. But full marks to Newcastle. As you mentioned, the Falcons' defence has been super in the first quarter. They lead by 6 with a tip-off for the second quarter about to happen. That clash we were talking about, the Overton-Stevens, really hasn't eventuated so far.
Well, I think it's partly due to the good defense that both of them are playing on each other. Certainly Stevens' defense has been very, very impressive. And again, we see Stevens come up with the ball to start it off.
Taking their time, Newcastle. Johnson back outside to Stevens. He goes in for a close shot. Back out to Johnson. The old 1-2, and it almost came off. Hubbard with the ball, and plenty of space for Withers to go in. He gets the foul, but doesn't get the 2 points.
Well, that time Withers saw that he had Neil Turner a bit slow on him and just accelerated out of there, and Hubbard gave him the ball at the right time, took it in to draw the foul there.
Up went Thomas to try and slam it in. Just didn't quite get it. But he is shooting 2. From the charity line, it's called.
And that's a good example of that there. You see the time how the ball just bounced around a couple of times before dropping down.
8 points for the game so far.
And let's see what Ben Morrissey has to say about the instructions given at quarter time.
Well, Tom Wiseman from the Newcastle Falcons was talking mainly about defense. He wants to know if any of their players get tired to let him know so we can get fresh guys in for the defensive end. Tom, that's pretty strange for Newcastle. Over the years, they would have been talking offense, offense, offense. I couldn't believe my ears just hearing all defense.
Well, you've got to be able to defend if you want to win games. Old strategy, but a very true one. If you get the defense right, the attack usually comes. As the rebound comes down to Hubbard, who worked in hard underneath the big timber. Good work from Hubbard.
Great positioning that time by Greg Hubbard to anticipate where the ball was going to go to and get to the spot. He's got the job on Al Green, and that'll be a pretty hard matchup there.
Ball comes down once again for Illawarra. 28-23.
That's one of the reasons the crowd hasn't really been in the game. Illawarra hasn't been able to run their fast break very much.
Withers misses a 3-point attempt. Comes down to Stevens, up to Johnson. Goes up and gets the 2 points as clean as a whistle.
Well, the transition game there from the Falcons paying off. And Dean McDonald, number 24, he's come into the game, and Al Green's given the job on him. Good move by Melvin Thomas. Got a bit of a bump there. Had the presence to know the man was off balance. Just a soft touch, putting it back in.
That's Chuck Armisen who went and sat. He's back on the bench. Green 2 points.
And the substitutions are now coming thick and fast here as Craig Adams checks in for Illawarra.
That's in 21.
The youngster played with South Melbourne last year. Has come to Illawarra, see if he can get a bit more court time, and so far this year he has. Basketball, a 48-minute game here, and played at this kind of pace, you just don't have very few players can last the whole distance.
Although we might see Overton on there for a long time.
Well, that's right. But inside the big timber there, you see, got to see him get a break here. And there we see Dean McDonald faking a few players in the air, hitting him up, throwing the foul out of it here. And they're not going to give him the basket. Oh, I'm surprised David Lindstrom isn't up on that one.
And we've got more substitutions, this time coming on for Newcastle. Grant Kruger in 11 and Peter Harvey in 22.
Again, both of these players have been noted for some of their defense in the past, except Grant Kruger, some of it not in such a good fashion in years past. He used to have a crew cut, but now with a bit longer hair, maybe he's cleaned his act up a bit.
You're trying to tell me he's a tough player?
He's very tough in years past.
Let's watch him. Number 11, the dark blue Falcon strip. Newcastle in charge by 7 points, 32-25 at the moment. Illawarra now with the chance to claw back a little bit on the lead as Kruger gets thrashed out of the way and didn't complain, I noticed. Stevens with the ball, showing great skills inside, and the ball lost by Kruger.
Bit of a collision. Everybody takes a turn on the floor. My turn, your turn.
Ball inside the Thomas, turn, shoots, misses, and Kruger's doing some good work. He was crashed to the floor a little while ago. 2 points, it's a slam from Neil Turner.
And hangs in there to keep from coming over backwards on it that time. David Lindstrom's indicating timeout from the sideline, and well he should, as Illawarra down by 9 points.
34-25 at the Snake Pit, and a very quiet home crowd. Newcastle Falcons leading the Illawarra Hawks, and they'll get the side ball as Neil Turner just put his hand to it. David Lindstrom concerned about his player's slow start. Ben.
David Lindstrom, that last time out, is going to change his defence. On defence, they're going to go to a box and one, which when 4 guys play a zone defence guarding an area, 2 up the top and 2 at the back, and 1 player marks Everett Stevens, is going to follow him around like a glove, not let him get the ball. On offence, he's concerned about they're not executing. Very sloppy at the moment, but I think that's got a lot to do with Newcastle's defence, especially with Terry Dozier, last year's NBL Defensive Player of the Year.
And that's him, Terry Dozier, number 31.
And it looks like the Falcons have gone into a zone defense themselves down at this end.
Overton inside to Thomas, just moving the ball around. With an alley-oop attempt, and the foul is called against Grant Kruger on Thomas. It was a set move. He tried just to throw it in. It's not a shot at the basket, it's just a shot into Thomas to pick it up and slam it in. Substitutions, Harmison back into the game, as well as number 44, Guy Brandon, a player we haven't seen much.
Well, Brandon's only a youngster, but as I said, Newcastle's gone into the zone here, and Brandon's a renowned shooter, and David Lindstrom has a lot of confidence in him as a player of the future and also as a player of this year, and he might send Brandon out there with instructions. You get yourself to an open spot there, and when the ball hits you, launch it.
Just turned 20. He's 198 centimeters.
He has a brother at the Institute, too. Both of them sons of a long-time Illawarra player, Huey Brandon. And it looks like the second generation is coming in to be better than the first generation.
Well, Hubbard missed those 2 attempts after getting the rebound. But fortunately for Illawarra, they were able to get the ball from the sideline. It was put over the baseline by the Newcastle Falcons. Overton with the ball. Harmison pulling play from the top. Thomas with the ball, and a charging foul against Thomas on Grant Kruger, who's done some good work for the side since he came on.
Well, they'd have to be happy with that if they could trade foul for foul. They'd be happy to lose Kruger in exchange for Thomas.
Tom, this is not think the fans are used to here at the Snake Pit. A lot of defense in years past. The score about now will be about 50-50, I'd say.
Well, that's right. Illawarra, they've gone into a zone as well, and it's paid off straight away. But there's been very little transition from either side. No fast breaks. I think one from memory from Michael Johnson, but that's been it. It's been down in the trenches, warfare time.
Armisen from the top of the key misses.
He can't hit. Go the other way with it.
Kruger got the rebound. 2 points to Newcastle. They extend their lead to 36-25. 11-point break. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Brandon with the ball. Gets it inside to Thomas.
Newcastle's come out of the zone now. They've gone to man-to-man, changing their defenses. Illawarra right off guard. And again, Newcastle patrolling the boards, cleaning them up.
Tough defense. And a great reject from Thomas.
Saying, this is my land here, boy. Get out.
Ball just fails to fall. Dozier gets the rebound and gets the 2 points. And this break is extending now to 38-25.
Yes, Melvin Thomas looking very frustrated that time after it, as well he might be. Things aren't going well for the home side. They're going to have to dig deep to get back into this game.
And I tell you what, it's pretty tough in this game at the moment up here. As that man you told us about, number 44, Guy Brandon, a top shooter, and he gets the points. 38-27.
Well, he's
Stevens stripped of the ball. And there's a fast break to Overton. He gets it to Hubbard. Hubbard lays it up beautifully. 2 points. And in an instant, they turn the score back around by 4. It is 38-29. Newcastle now leading by 9.
And the crowd, you can hear, starting to rev up now. They don't want to see the home team get this far behind.
Shot comes off the hoop. Overton with space puts the ball up to Hubbard, and what's the call? I'd say it's a
charging call on Overton.
Well, now that was, we'd like to have a look at it again. That was a tough one, right in the middle of the court. The ball, there it is, right in the right-hand side of the screen.
And those are the kind of calls that in years past, they let those go, saying, well, that had no effect on the play. They'd gotten rid of it there. Really, you might say, shortens the game or cheapens the game, but this year they've cracked down on charging calls, and that's one of them there. Said Overton had time to change his direction.
Kruger stripped of the ball. Brandon gets it across to Hubbard. Goes to Thomas. And the 2 points count as Kruger came charging through to try and tip the ball back out. And I think it's called goaltending. Did the ball actually go down?
Yes, Kruger that time went right up through the basket to try and keep it away. He's going to go off now.
Here it is. Watch it.
In.
And there it is. Just tried to knock it back out, and he succeeded, but the ball was already on its downward motion, which means the points count.
I think that one was not only down, it was part way through.
He might have put his hand back up inside the basket, you think?
Yes, and Neil Turner showing a nice shooting shot there.
40-31, 9-point break once again to the Falcons. Overton.
Well, Melvin Thomas faces off again against Terry Dozier.
Misses. The rebound comes down for Newcastle. Sean Dennis in 15 is now on for Newcastle.
And the fans on the end line screaming for an out-of-bounds call. The referee, John Payne, down there says, nope, didn't do it.
Dozier misses. Rebound comes down for Brandon. Quick break by Overton. Stops. He shoots for the basket. He misses. And a rebound by Neil Turner for the Newcastle Falcons.
And Illawarra really looking like they're going to say, well, when we get the ball, let's try and get the shot real quick before that tough defense sets up. Not a bad idea if you can get there.
2 points count. And substitutions. Just try and pick them up. Overton sits down, as well as Guy Brandon. And back comes Withers in 14.
And Chris Patel, who's played a lot of point guard for the Hawks in the last couple of years, he stepped in here.
In number 7.
So both coaches searching for some combinations here to try and put the game away one way or the other.
Patel, Withers, and Withers threw it to absolutely no one. Of course, as the ball went back over the other side of the court, they'll turn it over. And a timeout called by the Hawks. It's 42-31. Ben will try and get over there and find out exactly what's been said. I'm sure the Newcastle Falcons will be happy. They played very well and very strong.
Well, they have. Their defense is absolutely immaculate here.
Let's have a listen to what you'd say if you're David Lindstrom. Your side's behind by 11 points.
We don't make the right play. We don't score the open basket. If you want to get back in the game, you got to stop them down there. You got to come down here and hope that we can make a couple shots. But you guys defensively just stand around. I don't know. You know, it really disappoints me. You guys got to get
Well, it really disappoints him. It really disappoints the crowd when you're down by 11 points too. 3:41 left in the second quarter. Ben had his ears into the Newcastle huddle while we were listening to what Lindstrom had to say to his Illawarra players.
Tom Wise really didn't say that much. He's very ecstatic at the moment. Newcastle are going real nicely. Newcastle, this possession, next time down the court, are going to go back to a zone just for one time, but he's really happy at the moment.
I can understand that, and all the Newcastle supporters who are watching up there in the Steel City will be very happy as well. Their side is playing some great ball. Piper back on the court, and double O just fails with the shot. Harmison free. Puts it out to Thomas, and he just drops it in.
Well, that all started off from the other end there, coming up with it off the defense. Illawarra needs a couple more stops to get into this game by halftime. If they can get down to about 5 or so, they'd have to be happy.
A little bit of confusion there between Hubbard and Thomas. They both thought each other was going for the ball, and they both stopped. So it's Newcastle with the opportunity to extend their lead. 42-33, lead by 9. It's Peter Harvey out wide. Piper struggling with the ball. That's it, Dozier, and no score. The 30-second clock ran out.
Well, that's right. When you get the ball, you've only got 30 seconds in which to shoot it. And that time, Newcastle took too long, didn't get the shot away, so the ball goes to the other side. Illawarra now with a chance to cut into that lead just a little bit more. They're down to 9. See what they can work it down to by halftime.
It's 2:45. 2:44 left in the second quarter. Hubbard, falling shot. That's a shot of a great player.
Well, a lot of effort went into that one by Greg Hubbard on footwork. He must have covered about 15 feet with a magnificent leap, and then on a fadeaway, cleared the rest of the distance to get it up over the tall timber in there. So the Falcons now with a 7-point lead. They'd like to put a bit more on it just to give Illawarra something to think about halftime. That time, Chris Patel's held for holding Everett Stevens. Why not? He's such a quick player. You got to try and do something to slow him down.
42-35, Snake Pit. Hope you're enjoying this match, viewers all around Australia on the 10 Network, the basketball station, a Mitsubishi Challenge.
Not one of the prettiest matches that we've seen this year, but it's certainly one of the toughest. And what do you expect for Steel Cities?
Stevens with the ball. There's to Kuiper. And a steal by Hubbard. He's got the pace to go all the way. He misses, but a great rebound inside by McDonald.
Excellent.
24.
Yes, excellent move that time by McDonald. Had to shoot over Kuiper, give away about 5 inches in height. They used the basket to shield Kuiper for his shot.
And the foul called against Hubbard. 42-37. The break just 5 points at the moment.
And Al Green knew which way to go. If you get it on the isolation there on the side, go for the basket. And Green with the ball again.
Number 10. One of the veterans of the league, 36. 4th all-time highest score in the NBL competition.
Well, and Everett Stevens just so easy. Just a little head fake, send a man in the stands, and then shoot it.
Withers was inside, gets the ball, and a foul called against Kuiper, I would say.
A good move that time by Justin Booth. The foul is on Kuiper. He had Kuiper on the move and took it up into the basket there.
1:39 left in the second quarter. 44-37. Hawks will go to the line shooting 2.
Yes, and if Illawarra can get this thing down below 5 points at halftime, they'd have to be happy with that. Most of this first half has belonged to the Newcastle Falcons. They've looked the better side. And to go in less than 5, they'd have to be very pleased with that.
Shoots for the second, misses. The rebound comes down for Newcastle. Stevens and Kuiper were fighting each other to hit the ball. Ball inside to Green.
Well, Green really muscles his way inside well, but unable to hit the shot. Withers cleans up the rebound here.
Overton, McDonald. Comes back to Hubbard with a bit of space.
Oh, good move that time by Greg Hubbard. Took care of Michael Johnson and Kuiper both with head fakes.
Well, that was a great play. That was a great move right in front of our commentary position. Just stepped inside him, left him grabbing at thin air. Scoreline 44-40. They've got the break back to 4 points, the home side. Newcastle just going to get their theme back again. They have played so very well in this match so far. As 2 points goes in for Michael Johnson.
Johnson's played very well this half. Whoa, and that time Neil Turner comes up with a block. He's been one of the league's leading shot blockers for a couple of years. And the Falcons unable to finish the fast break in frustration. Now it looks like Illawarra perhaps going for the last shot of the half.
25, 24, 23 seconds. The clock counting down. Overton is just standing out wide and bouncing the ball. Hubbard's with the ball now. They'll probably shoot with about 5 seconds left. Hubbard decides to shoot now. 3 points, and why not when you can do that? That last shot with Stevens before the hooter. He shoots, and he gets it. Whoa, great play here at the Snake Pit. We're in for a great second half. It's 49-43. The visitors, Newcastle, leading.
Every month, you could win an infrared remote control Mitsubishi MIDI Hi-Fi sound system simply by placing the dunks of the month in the same order as our judges. And at the end of the season, the first prize is this fantastic Mitsubishi SE Magna wagon. So don't miss out. Be watching the Mitsubishi Challenge right here on Network 10, and you could be a big winner.
So as you see, you can be a winner at home. Driving away in a new car in the slam dunk competition. Starts next week, that competition. Something to look forward to. Some great action and some difficulties in trying to pick the winner of it, of course. Let's have a look at some of the match stats, Tom.
Well, yes, there you can see that Illawarra shooting with 43 points, Newcastle with 49, and perhaps the field percentage is indicative of the way the half has gone. 38% for Illawarra. Newcastle's really screwed down on their defense for Illawarra. They found it tough to do anything. The Falcons, 42%, a bit better, but Illawarra playing much better defense than they have in years past, and that's what's kept the game close. Rebounds pretty even, and the same for turnovers. So far, it's the Falcons' defense making the difference.
Well, we know we'll try and find out what was said in the sheds. I know Ben Morrissey, he seems to be able to get anywhere, this bloke. I know he's a former Illawarra player, but he was in the Newcastle change room. Ben.
Yeah, Peter, Tom Wise is very ecstatic at the moment and a very cool customer as a coach. Newcastle are very happy with how they're going. They feel that if they can keep Illawarra to 43 points in the second half, like they did in the first, they'll win the game. Also, they feel, the players were talking amongst themselves, that they can run on Illawarra, fast break them. Newcastle playing a lot better this season. Their defense is the key. I feel the Hawks want to get back in this game. They've got to start getting a lot quicker on offense, moving the ball, and really getting after it.
Okay, well, it's not only basketball that the 10 Network brings you. Let's have a look what we've got coming up. A big NBL section in that, and some great sport on Network 10. We hope you're enjoying this match all around Australia. At the moment, Newcastle up 49-43. It's the second half about to commence, and I thought there for a while, Tom, that perhaps Illawarra could have been trailing by as many as 15 going to the second half.
Well, that's right. Newcastle's defense really dominated the first half, but now the second half, I think the home crowd's going to come into it here. It's going to be a tough one here.
Well, it was tough in the first half. The second half starts off, and it's the veteran Green with the ball. Across to Stevens.
I think it's very important here. If Illawarra can get their nose in front early in this third quarter here, that might put a dent in the Falcons' confidence. If not, the defense they're playing, I think it'll take them home.
Kuiper misses. The rebound comes back to him, though. And he works strong underneath the basket and still refuses to fall, but I think he'll pick up the foul. He'll go to the line shooting 2.
And what a good move by Paul Kuiper. He's playing better with Newcastle this year. Seems to like the chemistry of the team and what he has in years past. Paul Kuiper, born in Australia, then grew up in parts of the United States and went to university over there, and then rolls back into Australia, and everybody says, where did he come from? And they couldn't hardly miss him when he got off the plane. And within about a month of coming back to Australia, he found himself in the Australian Olympic team that has been out for a couple of years now, not been able to find some of that early form, and some of the Australian big men have gotten better. Left him a little bit behind, but he's still in there, might get back to it.
Thomas, nice move, gets the 2 points, and it's 50-45, 5 points to break.
And that's the first defensive lapse by Terry Dozier. I wouldn't hold my breath for the next one.
Watch this man, he can shoot 2. I'm talking about Michael Johnson, number 5. In the meantime, the ball's inside. Kuiper doing some strong work.
And again, to the ball. Yes, the size and strength of Kuiper just making the difference. Illawarra not quite having somebody big enough to combat him. Illawarra trying to rely on some of their quickness there, but a pass just going astray. Good tough. Falcons playing that good hard defense.
Well, that's 2 very wayward passes from Justin Withers. We saw one in the first half and one early in the second. Let's hope he can get his concentration, not so much his concentration, but his timing back as far as Illawarra is concerned. Newcastle playing strong at the moment, and they've got the lead, and a steal, and it goes 2 points. We'll just check out if it's 2 or a 3.
Well, that really hurts. Withers had the rebound. The Illawarra was off and running, but instead just turns it over. Now Green capitalizes on it, and it's back to that 9 points now. Illawarra needs to get back into this thing. They need a couple baskets badly, and they need to stop Newcastle badly.
54-45. Plenty of time left in the third quarter. Overton with the ball. Closely marked by Stevens. Goes inside to Withers. And a huge reject, but it's goaltending according to the referee. The ball was on a downward motion.
Well, let's see if we can see that one on the replay there. Newcastle saying it never was going to go near the basket. Well, it was on its way there. I don't know if it would have got to the basket or not. Anyway, you're going to have to play it. That's the way the game goes.
Kuiper. Yes. No doubt about that. Perfect position. Justin Withers stood his ground, and Kuiper just buried him into the boards. Watch it. He's standing still. He's not standing still now. He's flat on his back.
Oh, that'll give the Cowboys something to do for a while.
54-47.
Well, and Everett Stevens still with a job on Doug Overton. That was a big factor in the first half. Overton only had 2 out of 9 in shooting from the field that time. And again, Stevens. And that dunk. The little man can fly. No wonder Newcastle's got such big reps on this man. The way they're playing, they're going to be definite playoff team.
Oh, and a great reject, too. And look at Stevens comes up. And the ball touched by one of the hooks. So they come to the sideline for the Falcons.
Right here, thanks. Right here.
If the Falcons say they can run so far, they're showing it they're right. They can. Al Green just brushes off Doug Overton.
3-point shot.
And hits the guide wire at the top of the basket. This would be the only basket in the National League with what they call guide wires up at the top. If it hits off those, it's out of bounds. Illawarra now down by 9 points, looking to go inside to Melvin Thomas. But again, Dozier forces him out of where he wants the ball, but he goes inside to Hubbard, but he has to shoot over the top of Johnson.
Thomas trying to find a way through. Ball refuses to fall.
Dozier cleans up the rebound again. It's the Falcons defense dictating the game.
Johnson comes across to Stevens. He's outside the three-point line. Steady burns past Harmison. Goes to Johnson, comes back to Stevens again. Once again, he leaves Harmison standing. He is quick.
Yes.
Well, Harmison had no chance. He just went straight past him.
Well, the Falcons showing a good balance here. When they've got the ball on offense, they're being just patient with it. And if you're patient with it on offense, it means that you don't have to play defense for quite so long. And then when your turn comes, you've got some energy left for the defense.
Everett Stevens misses the first. 56-47. 25 years of age. Gets the second.
And it's a 10-point ball game here. Illawarra really needs to get a roll on, but they don't look like rolling so far.
They might roll to a standstill unless they can really pick it up. Overton misses. And a foul called on Piper, pushing Withers away from the basket, I believe.
And that brings up number 4 on Paul Piper. You get 6 fouls in this game, and that's all, and you're out. So they're going to give Piper a rest on the bench with a big man. He's had trouble with his condition in years past. That probably suits the coach a bit to give him a rest anyway here. But that gives Illawarra a bit of a chance. They counter with some height as Craig Adams comes into the game. See if Illawarra is able to do what Piper's been doing.
Thomas with the ball. Goes to Overton. To Hubbard. Hubbard gets it inside. Withers, he loses control and turns the ball over as Green races up court, and Hubbard gets his hand in, steals the ball, but Newcastle will get the possession back from the sideline.
And Roger Parrish here, former team doctor, just about to give Al Green a grab and a shot there, see if he can knock him out or something.
Good work and a good rebound, and he doesn't like the call against him, Melvin Thomas, as Dozier went for the shot.
Well, they're not going to call it on him. They're going to call it on Craig Adams. Terry Dozier really showing his athleticism there. What a magnificent man. He is so tall and so quick.
For Newcastle, Grant Kruger's just had to go to the bench. His shoe sole has come off completely. He needs a new pair of Converse.
Burnt them off. First point goes down for Terry Dozier. 58-47, 11-point break.
Yes, the Falcons slowly extending that lead.
Gets the second.
And they're going to call Melvin Thomas that time on a shoving foul on the rebound. This one is really unusual. And then they're going to hand the ball back over to Newcastle. Well, what a time to pull out a call like that. When things don't go well, they don't go well. And there it goes.
How fast was that? I blinked, I almost missed him. He just charged through there. 61-47. The Falcons starting to edge away. Hubbard underneath the basket, pulls 2 back. They're going to have to pull her back a lot more than that if they want to get back into the ball game here at the Snake Pit.
Yes, the battle of the speed, man. So far, Stevens really on top of Overton.
Shooting, misses. Rebound comes down for Illawarra.
That's been the first forced shot that that Newcastle has taken tonight. Michael Johnson not under balance, but even so, Everett Stevens almost cleans it up and takes off again with it.
Well, Thomas seemed to be losing his temper a little bit, Ben.
Yeah, he's very frustrated like the whole Illawarra team. Nothing's going right for him. Maybe that three-pointer might get dug over and going.
And Steve Voss, number 12, he's come into the game for Illawarra. David Lindstrom searching, trying to find somebody that can do the job out there for him.
inside to Stevens. Oh, great pass away, and a super block by Chuck Harmison.
Yes, really jamming it down on Turner right in front of us.
Here it is, watch it. Hand right on the ball and just refuses to let him shoot. And talking about great defense, there's some more from Illawarra.
Yes, the Illawarra asking for a charging call, but the ref just let it go. Well, that might be a good enough result. Let's see what they pull out here. Yes, I think it'll be a blocking foul and 2 shots that time for Doug Overton. And Overton clapping to the crowd, trying to get them going.
61-51. And we have a tie.
61-51, and what's been a pretty dour defensive struggle here. Not a game of great excitement, but a game of real tough, hard-nosed defense. And the coaches, they've been working overtime here, employing the players. Doug Overton, the man so far behind the 8 ball, trying to get Illawarra back into this game here. Hits the first end of a free throw, 1 point for those. Goes for the second one to get Illawarra below 10 points as the Falcons have dominated thus far. And he does it.
Ben, what was said on the timeout?
Davis is still pretty positive at the moment. He feels they've just got to be patient, work the ball around. That's what's got to be a concern for Newcastle. Illawarra's not playing very well, and they're just hanging around at the moment. Tom Wise has got to feel they've got to put him away, because otherwise the snake pit crowd's just going to bring him home. And every coach in the NBL knows that.
61-53.
Foul called that time on Steve Voss, just holding the man, not letting him get to the ball. And we see Neil Turner, 6'10". As we said before, one of the big shot blockers in the league, but he really has a soft shooting touch for a big man here. He steps the free throw line 1 and 1. If he hits the first one, which he does, he gets the second one. Worth 1 point, tries for the second one, just to bring up that 10-point gap again.
210 centimeters or 6'10".
Those arms that go on forever.
63-53. 10 points the difference. 6 minutes left in the third quarter as Hubbard takes it up, and a foul called. We're getting a lot of foul calls, but it just shows you just how tough and how physical this match is at the Snake Pit. It's a real bruiser.
Well, I think the referees on this, they're afraid that if they don't call some of these fouls and they let a bit go, it's tough enough already. It'll really get into a bloodbath. So they're going to make sure the players just don't get that extra little bit here to turn it into a bloodbath. And so what I've seen some of those come in recent times. They don't want one to take place here. So a bit of a discussion here that there's only 4 fouls up for Newcastle. It's the 5th one that puts them into 1 and 1. They thought they were in it, but it's not. Illawarra runs her out of bounds play. Pretty quick move, but Stevens reacts in time to cut off Overton that time. Illawarra goes inside. Oh, good move by Craig Adams. Brings up the 2 points.
63-55. Stevens brings it back up for the Falcons. They've been in control for the most of them again. They continue to hold the lead. 8 points at the moment. Can they make it 10? Yes, they can, as Green gets the 2 points. They back out to the 10-point break at 65-55.
Illawarra played just as good a defense as they possibly could on Al Green that time, but it wasn't good enough. The veteran able to score over the top of a lot of people.
Hubbard with the ball now. Back inside to Harmison. Ball rings out. The crowd groans. Newcastle with the ball. Dozier. To the cross to Stevens.
And again, Newcastle really showing patience that we've never ever seen out of them for the last 5 years or more.
Ball goes outside for one of the big shooters. Michael Johnson gets the 3 points.
Well, and he's been very selective with his 3-point shooting tonight. At 3 for 4 in the first, and now he's got to be 4 for 5.
He's a long way outside the 3-point line. Illawarra, the home side in the red and white.
Well, Chuck Harmison really getting frustrated, getting hacked a couple of times. And Illawarra comes up front with Steve Voss putting the basket in, and he'll get another one to go.
Steve Voss, number 12. 68-57, 11-point break with the shot, one shot to come.
Voss has been a very handy pickup for Illawarra. Played in the Sable League last year. He's come on to try his luck in the NBL, and he's played some valuable minutes so far, and none more valuable than these right now.
They're scrapping for the ball, but it's Newcastle, and complaining is Stevens. They do have possession. Play on according to the referee. Stevens shoots for two. Can't get any closer to going in. It refused to fall. As Overton, dashing Doug Overton, brings it up. He's got the ball outside the three-point line, looking for a player inside with clear shooting space. Craig Adams turns. He's in all sorts of trouble as the defence swarmed in on top of him. And he'll go to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1. It means he must get the first to go for the second. And look at that defence on top of him. It's like a rugby union scrum.
And about the same result there. You hope you come out of it okay.
Well, he's a big man. Misses the first, but Illawarra will come up with a side ball as it's knocked over the baseline by the Falcons.
Well, they're really going to have to take some of their opportunities here now. They're down by 11 points. Just on 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. They've got to pin some back here to give the crowd a chance to bring them home.
Overton. Legs 11 for number. Taking their time. Hubbard back inside. Adams goes out to Overton. Overton scorches along the baseline, puts the shot up and draws the foul. And he'll go to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1. As we see a substitution, or two substitutions, come in for the Newcastle Falcons. Into the game comes Grant Kruger and Peter Harvey in 22.
Yes, and that brings up a foul on Terry Dozier.
There's the fouls at the moment. 15 for the Falcons, 14 for the Hawks.
Not much of a hometown advantage there, is there?
The low ankle shot as the first one drops.
Peter, you referred to as a rugby maul there before. I bet you some of the rugby coaches might have some of these big blokes as a couple of line-out jumpers.
That's for sure. That's a very good point there. 68-59, 9-point break. Michael Johnson shoots 3 points.
Well, chalk that one up to Grant Kruger. He set a screen there that was just blocked the man right off of it. Johnson went right behind him, easy as you please, and buried it. That's some of the Falcons' offensive old.
Armisen.
Kruger right up on him.
And foul called on Kruger.
That'll send Chuck Harmison to the line for a 1 and 1.
The bench isn't happy with it.
Well, I think that one had to be. Kruger was right up on top of him. As Harmison moved, he moved with him.
Substitution for
and at this stage, in comes Dean McDonald. He places Steve Voss, who's done a stellar job for Illawarra in the few minutes he's played here. Illawarra, though, they're going to have to start putting some points on the board to make a dent in this. Otherwise, it's going to be a big ask. The Newcastle defense just hasn't looked like cracking. Illawarra still at 60 points with the into the third quarter coming up.
3 minutes 13 left as Harmison misses his second. The rebound comes down for Hubbard. He works underneath, puts up the back shot and misses. And Kruger comes up with the ball. Turner stops and shoots and misses. Overton with the ball now. And the pace of the game all of a sudden picking up as Overton goes up. Shot misses and it comes down to Stevens. He twists and turns and gets away from the opposition. Johnson inside to Kruger, and it refuses to fall. Well, some fast play from both teams, but both times, no points.
And Illawarra going for some scoring power, bringing in Melvin Thomas. Well, the game's been so hard that neither team able to get into a shooting rhythm. And then when the shots come, you think, oh, you should hit that. But you haven't been able to get your practice shots in. Some of the easier shots you normally get earlier in the game. And nobody's really had a good shooting rhythm except perhaps Michael Johnson. And that's why another block comes out of it. can expect to be met heavily.
Well, Illawarra come up with the ball. And Overton just managing to keep the ball inside. He goes through and drops it for two. Tough work from dashing Doug Overton.
Yes, and Kruger on the floor again. He took over now to that one.
Peter Harvey attempts to go away. He offloads out wide. And this man has been hot in this quarter, Michael Johnson.
He just keeps putting up the three-pointers and hitting them. And again,
a steal here from Stevens. He gets it back. The ball, oh, tough work underneath. Peter Harvey went for the shot. And Overton just stood his ground underneath and got cracked. Well, Johnson scored 19. Here it is, and whoosh.
Yes.
That's contact.
Well, they called Overton for moving forward into that one. He may have stood at the start with, but you can see at the end of that, he just took a little step forward there. Pretty hard foul that time on Harvey. He's tough. He gets up.
Drops the first to take it to 74-62.
Looks like he put a surfboard down. He's popped out on the court here for the Newcastle Beaches.
Well, he probably did. Aren't they beautiful too, Newcastle Beaches? Get the chance. Go and have a look at them. Viewers all around Australia watching this Mitsubishi Challenge match here at the Snake Pit. Wollongong on the south coast. Another beautiful area as far as beaches are concerned.
Yes, and Chuck Armisen again catching Neil Turner off balance that time. And once he had him on the move, just kept moving, drew the foul out. Now he's got to hit the first of a 1-and-1 because Illawarra is getting to the point where they really must hit some of these 1-and-1 chances here to get the points, or they're going to be too far behind to catch up.
75-62. Misses the first. Doesn't get the second.
Well, they've given up about 6 points now on 1-and-1 opportunities.
Plus they're running the clock down too here. So a minute 37 left. Oh, great shot. Well, he's hot this quarter, Michael Johnson. He's moved up to 21 points, shooting 62% from the field. And from the three-point area, 80%.
Yes, and Grant Kruger's really been doing a job on Melvin Thomas. He managed to slip an elbow in there beforehand. Thomas made the move, got the ball again, give him another one there. Little bump just to make it tough to shoot it.
Well, if they can hold Illawarra out, let the foul go. They're missing the one-and-ones. On this occasion, Thomas gets the first. Just get up this end and then throw it to that man, Michael Johnson. He's been on fire.
Well, that's right. He is a straight shooter. He's likely to hit 10 in a row. He might miss 10 in a row, but he'll come back and hit the 10 for you. Well, Illawarra's put in Dean McDonald, and you can guess what the instructions are there. And there you see him. Dean McDonald's going to follow him. If he goes to the toilet, McDonald will be there waiting for him.
Here he is. Shoots over the top. And almost fell too. Good ball into Thomas. Goes to Hubbard. Misses with a shot, but a good rebound from Thomas. Heavy defense on him. And he misses with the shot.
And again, as we said, nobody really able to get a shooting rhythm in this game except for Michael Johnson.
Goes back out to Stevens. Johnson misses. But he comes up with the steal.
Illawarra really went to sleep on that one.
And they've called Overton for the foul, and the 2 points will count. Well, he did go to sleep, Doug Overton. He allowed the ball to be stolen, and then he committed the foul, and the 2 points counted.
Well, that's one of the plays where it's really not Doug Overton's fault. The other people around, they can see what's going on. They can see the man coming up. They should have been screaming their heads off for him. And David Lindstrom, he had his head down as well he should. I mean, those are elementary, fundamental things. Shouldn't happen at this level, but they did. And Illawarra's in a 16-point hole. They're going to have to do it. Melbourne Giants in the next quarter if they're going to win this thing.
Well, it's 80-66, only 5 seconds left on the clock. Harvey throw it up. He's going to go all the way. He's going to try and go all the way. He throws it up and he draws a foul. And he'll go to the line shooting 1-on-1 with 1 second left on the clock.
And the fans behind us have just said what everybody's thinking. Oh, no, how could you do that?
And there it is. Well, that was good play from Peter Harvey. The surfer from Newcastle actually attacking Tom.
Well, he's a tough player. He's been around for a couple of years with Falcons. He's been through them in their bad years, and it looks like he's going to be with them in what it looks to me like it's going to be a very good year for the Falcons. But what's even worse for Illawarra is that you look up at the scoreboard and you see Melvin Thomas on 5 fouls going into the last quarter.
1 second left. Harmison from... Oh! We nearly took out a couple of patrons behind the backboard. The scoreline are in all sorts of trouble, down 82-66 to the Newcastle Falcons. A break, I suppose, which you would say would be not insurmountable?
Well, until last weekend, you would say it was. Before that, the previous record was 14 points for a comeback and a win. Last week, North Melbourne managed to come back, overcoming Hobart, who had a 19-point lead going in, and managed to lose it here. I think it's going to be very tough for Illawarra this time to do something like that, because the Falcons defense just has not looked like cracking Illawarra on 66 points. There's been many a game where they've had 100 points at this stage in the game, and it's been pretty much that way. Illawarra had 20 in the first quarter, 49 at halftime, 66 here. So Newcastle Falcons, a team that's not renowned for defense in the past, they found the defense here. They're playing really tough, and Michael Johnson needs to come up with a hot hand, put in Illawarra in all sorts of bother. The snake pit crowd, they're warming up here, but Newcastle, they'll look to take them out of it here with some pretty controlled play early in this quarter.
Well, they'll be also looking to Doug Overton to start getting hot. He's shooting just 27% from the field, 33% his three-pointers. Well, scoring just 13 points so far.
And there's an old saying in many sports, you can only play as good as the opposition lets you, and Newcastle isn't letting anybody play here.
Except themselves, and they're doing that exceptionally well. They're a different team in 92 than they were in 91 and 90, I'll tell you. Canberra they've got tomorrow night.
Well, it's a bit of a late call there, but the call comes in. Melvin Thomas puts it all on a big risk, and they call the other fellow, Everett Stevens, for the charge. If that had gone the other way, Illawarra might be in big trouble with Thomas out.
82-66.
And Illawarra's gone for some defense here as well. They've gone for Steve Voss and Dean McDonald. They'll ask them to stop some of the Falcons' scores and hope that Greg Hubbard, Melvin Thomas, and Overton can get hot.
What's the word from the benches, Ben Morrissey?
Dave Richardson wants his players to try and restore some pride. He reckons they've lost their pride. But Newcastle, they've from 1990-91, they've picked up 3 great players in Dozier, Piper, and Stevens. That's the difference.
And they're all playing well. And also those players, Michael Johnson, Peter Harvey, the players who've stuck with Newcastle, are also putting the effort in, and they're getting the reward at the moment. And a blocking foul called on Peter Harvey, who puts his body on the line.
Well, that's right. You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Tom Wisman and David Ankeny. They put the game back in defense, which is something that was missing in Newcastle before, and it certainly paid big dividends for them. The rest of the team in the National League, they're going to have to take notice, because this is a team that's going to be around this year.
84-66. Newcastle leading. Thomas. And the foul called on Sean Dennis, number 15.
Well, he's not in any trouble. That's only number 1 on him. And now it comes down to the free throw line. And even Illawarra's free throw percentage, only 55% so far in the game. That's way down on their average.
84-67. Melvin Thomas. And gets the second.
Thomas from Alabama by way of Texas now comes out here to make a career in Australia. He's really done well for Illawarra. They're going to need a lot more out of him in the last 10 minutes and 39 seconds.
And the foul is called against Grant Kruger, using the elbow.
Well, and that's one of the problems that a player like Grant Kruger faces, that over the years, the referees, he's had such a reputation, and it's carrying on a little bit here tonight. He's going to be the first guy guy they look for whenever anything goes astray.
So it's Illawarra ball from the sideline. Comes in, Doug Overton, 84-68. The Hawks need points, and they need them now, and preferably three-pointers. Overton, and shadowed as he goes out. Goes for a three-point shot and misses. McDonald went for it.
Terry Dozier asking for an over-the-back call that time against Steve Voss, but the referee letting it go on. And Newcastle again looks to be doing it comfortably. Well, that's something you haven't seen for the last 5 years, as Michael Johnson pass up a shot.
And Thomas, fast break by Hubbard. He'll go up and he'll get the 2 points and no foul call.
Well, I think Hubbard deliberately slowed down that time to try and draw the foul. But Everett Stevens, he's been around. He's not going to fall for that.
And a charging foul called against Stevens on McDonald. So maybe the play turning a little bit back towards the home side here. It's 84-70. They trail by 14 at the moment.
Well, nothing much to lose that time. A smart play by Dean McDonald. Has to take a bit of a gamble. Well, they called the other one in open court, so they've called that one well. We've got a timeout here.
84-70. Newcastle Falcons doing battle here at Wollongong against the Illawarra Hawks. 84-70, it's Newcastle in control as Illawarra goes for a desperately needed shot and it misses. And up comes Stevens, goes across, the shot rings around and falls for Michael Johnson, who's had hot hands here at the Snake Pit. 86-70.
Let's hear what Ben Morrissey has to say.
Greg Hubbard, 2,000 plus points tonight, 2002. He could well be in the green and gold for Australia. As the ball continues to fall short for Illawarra. Newcastle 86-70. Sean Dennis hasn't seen much court time tonight. He's got the ball now. He turns and shoots and it drops sweetly. The score moves on to 88-70. An 18-point break. We have a timeout. Ben, things must be a little bit quiet. Newcastle in charge, and that's one of the reasons why they're in charge. The defence has just been superb. Terry Dozier on that occasion. And we have Chuck Harmison coming back in. Steve Voss goes out. They need some magic to get out of this one.
Well, Newcastle's gone into a zone here. They're just going to keep changing it up and making it as tough as possible for Illawarra, making use all the brain power they've got to come in with it here. But it's tough inside there.
It certainly is. Harmison turns to shoot.
And it's a 3-second call. Chuck Harmison that time, Melvin Thomas that time, for 3 seconds inside the painted area near the basket. Not allowed to do that, and ball goes over to Newcastle. Ben Morrissey.
Yeah, Illawarra's got to find someone that's going to take this game and start stringing a few baskets together. At the moment, they just can't throw it in the ocean.
Well, that's about right. 88-70.
And we see a foul on Grant Kruger there as he just put the shoulder in as the man went past him there for the block, and the referee picked it up. And the Illawarra crowd here, they've really been taken out of this game. There's a lot of long faces here at Wollongong, and the Newcastle people must be tickled pink the way they're playing.
Well, they should be. They've had some long, lean seasons over the past years. Newcastle, it's great to see a team come back and become competitive after dwelling in the cellar for so long. You've got to hand it to their new coach and their new imports.
Well, the players have had it there. It's clear that they've had it. It's just a matter of somebody finding the trick and do it the right way. And here we see the Hawks, when things don't go right, they go all the way bad. Grant Kruger steps in, takes the intercept. Chuck Harmison going after the ball, called for the foul on it.
88-70, 18-point break. 7 minutes left in the game. If Illawarra hoped to get out, Chuck Harmison just gave the foul away.
Well, Terry Dozier that time clearly had him beat on a baseline drive, headed for the end of the court there. Chuck Armisen trying to react, too slow to it. Well, Dozier's a brilliant athlete here. We've seen with the ball, pitches it into Michael Johnson.
Inside, Armisen trying to hold him off, and he gets the rebound, goes to Overton. Overton puts it across to Thomas, but good hands there by Grant Kruger.
Yes, Kruger come back, gives Thomas another little bump and say, well, I got one more foul to give, and you're going to get it sooner or later, boy.
So it's Illawarra with the ball. 6:58 left in the final quarter. 88-70, 18-point break, Newcastle.
Melvin Thomas really asking for it that time.
Hubbard, 3 points. Misses. Ball comes up, goes across to Stevens. Charging foul called on. Looks like it might have been called on Sean Dennis.
Melvin Thomas walking back very slowly. You can almost see the frustration dripping out of him. He doesn't like to be down by this score here, and he knows if you get on top here, it's going to be very, very tough.
Chris Bertel. Overton gets the ball inside to Thomas. He goes back to Overton for a three-point shot. Comes off the side of the hoop. And up come the Newcastle Falcons. 2 points.
Well, and
Everett Stevens
just blows it into overdrive for the dunk. He just got all the moves tonight.
Good ball inside from Bertel. Goes out to Hubbard for a three-point shot. It falls. 90-73, but it might be all too late for Illawarra.
Yes, and Greg Hubbard's been one of the few players from the Hawks that really can hold his head up out of this game. He and Thomas have definitely been the pick of the lot.
And Overton takes it back up court.
They lead by 17 with 5 minutes to go. They'll be working for good shots each time down the court. You can be sure they learned from what happened to Hobart last weekend. They won't go negative. They'll keep attacking here.
Ball goes inside to Johnson. And then goes through to Bertel, to Dozier. And a timeout called by Illawarra. It's 92-73. There's the coach, David Lindstrom. What does he say?
Zoning you guys, the way they're matching a lot, and they're doubling. They're just really hustling because they can smell the wind. The problem is when we score, we're falling back. We're supposed to be right all over them in a number 4, getting after them. Put them on. Start getting after the ball. You can't let them keep running 30 seconds. You got to get them to turn the ball over a few times. You can only do that scrap. Offensively, they come down in a 4-out, 1-in. Melvin, you work from block to block, and you guys move the ball around the perimeter. And if he's open inside, give it to him. Yep. And if he makes a move and they're all collapsing, kick it out and shoot it. 4-out, 1-in. You can move the ball on it. Go.
Well, Illawarra going back to the days when they had Norman Taylor 4-out, 1-in. So they're going to go for some three-point shots here and try and open it up a bit for Melvin Thomas on the inside. David Lindstrom also saying, well, look, we've got to get up on defense, extend our defense. They've got to go for try and get some intercepts here. Got to gamble. Doesn't matter whether you lose by 20 or 40 in this game.
Tom Wisecoat last time out just explained to his Newcastle Falcons how to break the full court pressure against Illawarra.
Well, he's explained how to beat them pretty well. They're up 92-73. 5 minutes left in the game, but I will say in basketball, 2 minutes, I've seen 20 points scored.
Well, it's altogether possible, and that's the end of Grant Kruger. He leaves the game here with 6 fouls. We said he had 6 to give, and Melvin Thomas would be the recipient of number 6, and that's what happened.
You were pretty tough on Kruger when he came into the game. What do you think of him now?
Well, he's one of the players, again, he was renowned defensively last year, and he, in the years past, he's had a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a tough guy, and he's going to have to wear that for a year or two before referees and get rid of that. Otherwise, he's going to keep picking up fouls along the way. He did a pretty good job during the game. And another one I think that's had a big impact on the game has been Al Green, who shut Justin Withers out of it. Good move by Tom Wisman to put Green on the Justin Withers, going for somebody smaller with greater foot speed.
Sean Dennis with the ball. He offloads back inside. Goes to Dozier, gets the 2 points. Well, the score line just keeps clicking over for the Newcastle side.
Yes, and Newcastle takes a bit of time off the shot and then just goes down and gets a shot at the end of 10 or 15 seconds.
94-75. Will it be 2 more points? No, it won't on this occasion. As Sean Dennis misses the layup, it goes to Overton. Dennis just falling all over the court. And for a change, the ball falls for Doug Overton.
Illawarra has now extended their defense. Let's see if they can put a bit of pressure on Newcastle. Thomas really sucking wind here to try and get some breath back into it.
Oh!
And that'll be the end of him. A great move by Everett Stevens, knowing that Melvin Thomas had 5 fouls. Do a fake, get rid of him.
And the foul called on Melvin Thomas, 32, and he is out of the game with 6 fouls.
He knew what it was. He just collapsed right on into the bench. He's got nothing left, and he's been trying very hard, but it's not enough.
Peter, the basket tonight for Illawarra must look like a 20-foot putt, but for Newcastle it must look like the Sydney Heads.
Yes, Newcastle, they've earned it. They've played well. Their defence has just been superb. Many of the Canberra Cannons who are watching this telecast tonight will know just what an effort they're going to have to put in tomorrow at the Palace when they line up against Newcastle. The Bullets were down here last week. They lost here and they went over to the Palace and lost as well. Newcastle are after a double away victory.
Well, that's it, really. The Falcons' defense has been what's wanted, except for Michael Johnson shooting. The rest of the Falcons' shooting has all been pretty ordinary, but the Falcons' defense has just really cooled Illawarra.
Gets the rebound himself as his wild shot just goes loose. Stevens, it's 4-on-2. And the ball is tipped in by Terry Dozier.
And that's how it goes when it's running against you. The Falcons now really starting to run right over the top of Illawarra.
Hubbard, the 2 points, misses. The rebound.
And Greg Hubbard's going, he's not out of the fight yet. He's really in there trying 100%.
Bit of frustration showing for the Illawarra Hawks.
Justin Withers picking up that foul at this stage. I don't think it really matters too much who gets what fouls.
20 points to break, 97-77 at the Snake Pit. You're watching basketball on the Basketball Network, the 10 network right around Australia.
Well, again, it's Everett Stevens, puts on a blazing speed there, goes in, draws the foul. He'll shoot a 1-and-1 out of this. Actually, I thought he got away with a few steps there before he put the ball up high.
Tom, this week in the press, Greg Hubbard stated that he's got to, every time he goes out to play, he's got to be playing for his life, because with Channel 10's coverage of basketball right around Australia, Adrian Hurley will be tuned in for this one.
Well, he'll be tuned in, but as Adrian Hurley says, it really isn't so much how you play for your clubs as what specific things you can do, which will help out the Boomers. He knows he'll have a role to play, but Greg Hubbard knows that if he can put his name there week after week with good performances, well, at least you got your foot in the door, and Hubbard's been doing that. He's been playing very, very well.
99-77. Justin Withers works hard under the basket to get 2 points. Takes it back to a 20-point game. 3 minutes 20 left in the final quarter.
Again, the Falcons, they'll show some patience here with the ball. They'll work with a good shot. They won't pass up anything that's too good like that. Terry Dozier really asking for the foul. Dozier hasn't had a particularly brilliant shooting night, but his defense has been awesome.
Rated the best defensive player in the game last year in the NBL. Played with Geelong.
Yes, and it's certainly not hard to see why tonight. He's given Melvin Thomas minutes heaps. Thomas has come out pretty good in this game. He's managed to score 20 points, but he's had to work very hard for every one of them.
their benches because the game looks like it's all but over. To try and give the younger players some time and experience out there to show their wares.
99-81, the Snake Pit. Falcons.
Justin Withers picks up a foul here. That'll be number 4 on him. That puts the Falcons on the line for a 1-and-1. Probably wouldn't want to foul this man too much. Everett Stevens. Don't like to foul the point guard of the other team. He steps up. It's about all Illawarra can do to try and get the ball back in a hurry now. Down by 18 points. Stevens cans the first one without any trouble. Coach Tom Wisman, no smile yet, but then again, coaches never smile until the final whistle's over. It's written into the coaching manual, page 13, you're not allowed to smile even if you're up by 20 until they blow the final whistle. Smiles are then permitted.
I think he'll be smiling for a long time tonight. Have a bigger smile tomorrow night if he can knock off the Cannons as well. Away wins have been a rarity for the Newcastle Falcons for the past few seasons. In fact, they went through one season where they didn't score one win away from home.
Well, they've been pretty much a rarity for everybody in the NBL this year. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but there's only been about 5 or 6 away wins in the whole NBL so far this year after about 4 rounds of play.
Shooting 1-and-1. This is the first, and the rebound comes down for Illawarra. 101-81 the score.
He's human after all. And again, the Falcons managed to come up with the ball.
Stevens, Brandon puts his hand in. Up under the basket. The referee's allowed to play on. As Newcastle still in control of the ball through Sean Dennis. That's Martin McLean in 12. The shot was put up and refused to fall. Chris Bertel.
Well, Dozier misses a shot but makes up for it at the other end. Comes up to the ball, leads a fast break, and he goes for a dunk, but he's just quite shepherded out of it there by Brandon that time. He just got the positioning on him, forced the ball to go out of bounds.
He almost took out the North Beach Park Royal sign behind the basket.
Well, the way Dozier gets up, he could pretty well jump to the North Beach from here.
And Justin Williams gets the 2 points. And we have a substitution. Out goes Everett Stevens. In comes Peter Harvey.
Well, I think Coach Tom Wisman, he's already looking towards tomorrow night. Give his starters as much of a spell as they can. Get them ready for the next game. McLean cuts loose from 3-point territory. And when you're hot, you're hot.
104-83. It's an embarrassment here at the Snake Pit. For the home side, Adams. Rebound by Withers. He gets the 2 points. It's 104-85. 1 minute 18 left in the match. It's all over now, even though Adams takes the steal, puts it inside, and the 2 points fall for Chris Bertel. Fast ball up to Terry Dozier. He puts it across to Martin McLean, who's fouled. In the act of shooting, he'll go to the line for 1-and-1.
Yeah, pretty unselfish play that time by Dozier. Saw the new man into the game, wanted to make him feel part of the team, gives him a shot there for the layup. And he now has the opportunity here to make his shot. So he's got 2 shots here, found the act of shooting. Each one worth 1 point. This is the first. Take your time a bit.
It's the one. It's 105-87. We're into the last minute of the game. This has been an enormous win by Newcastle. As it goes out to Overton. And it just refuses to fall. It just has all night for Overton. He's got the ball. He's going through heavy traffic. He gets the 2 points. A little bit more of the form that we have seen from Overton through the season. Early part of the season, that is. Turner just taking his time. They'll run the clock right down here. There it is on the top right-hand side. 24 seconds left as it goes out to Sean Dennis. Across to Peter Harvey for the shot. And you guessed it, it fell. 108-89. Can they make it over the 90? They certainly can. That should be the final score. It's 108-91. The shot should come. No, it won't. And 108-91 is the final score. A comprehensive victory by Newcastle. They were just far too good and far too strong, not only in attack but also in defence. Well, they would have to be ecstatic to come here and have a victory. It's such a dominating victory as that.
Well, they were. Their team, they're just a bunch of blue-collar workers. They've put the word defense back in the Newcastle basketball vocabulary, and they've shown they're going to be a real force in the NBL this year.
108-91. If the Coach Wiseman could have hoped for a victory, 1 point would have done him. But that is just an annihilation of a team that's been playing very well here at the Snake Pit in Wollongong.
Well, not only that, Illawarra's been playing pretty well throughout the season. They've been pretty unlucky in their games away from it. Their season's been going pretty well for them, but not tonight.
Well, Ben Morrissey's got one of the stars of the match with him at the moment, Everett Stevens.
With me, Newcastle Falcons guard Everett Stevens. Great win tonight, Everett.
Yes, it was a good win. We needed this win to go into our next game, and we came out, victorious.
Your defense tonight was enormous. You really took Doug Aben out of the game. Illawarra couldn't even get away any easy shots all night.
Well, that was our game plan. I wanted to try to contain Doug and try to make other players beat us. And tonight, we did that.
You got Canberra tomorrow night in Canberra. That'll be a tough one down there, but tonight must give you a hell of a lot of confidence.
Exactly, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to go in this game, get our first game, and then go in with the momentum, and that's what we have right now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Everett. Good luck tomorrow night.
Well, they've certainly got momentum up, and we'll come back shortly to wrap up this exciting job by Newcastle on the home side. Illawarra, they're just too good.
Well, they were, and for the Cannons, they better be ready tomorrow night, because the Falcons, they're flying very high, and they'll be going in there charging with all guns blazing. For Illawarra, I'm afraid Coach David Lindstrom's going to have to go back to the Cooper toolbox and see if he can fix what went wrong before next week's game.
It certainly went wrong. Let's have a look at the statistics from the game. There they are, the final scoreline on the top, 108-91, 40%, 67, 46 rebounds, and 22 turnovers against the Hawks. That's really the stat that told the story. The top scorers, Thomas, Overton, Hubbard and Withers, Johnson, who was really hot in the third quarter, Stevens, Dozier and Cooper, who scored 11. Well, they were the statistics from the game. Let's have a look at all the matches we'll have for you around the network tomorrow night. And there they are, the Perth Wildcats taking on the Melbourne Magic. Brisbane Bullets up against the Gold Coast Rollers. They expect a crowd of around 10,000 there for that. Canberra Cannons take on tonight's winners, Newcastle Falcons. Hobart Devils against the Adelaide 36ers. Geelong Supercats against the North Melbourne Giants. Well, they're the details of it. Check your guides on all those matches tomorrow night. From all of us here at the Snake Pit, thanks very much to my co-commentators, Tom Pottinger and Ben Morrissey, who suffered through the game. I know they support the Illawarra side, but they were glad to see Newcastle on the way back, and certainly a side that's going to be a force to reckon with in season 92. From the TED Network team, good evening.